Hi, my name is Becky. I'm going to be showing you how to plan attachment follow-up trips in Wekware. We start off in this attachment follow-up trip planner screen. Like all screens in Wekware, it is what we call a Wekware Live document. First, let's make full use of the available screen real estate by zooming this page to fill the screen with. Next, we need to create a new trip and then set it up. We start off by typing the trip name here on new value. For the trip name generally will have a name with two parts. The first part of the name will be the date planned for the trip. The reason for doing this is that you will often have maybe 3 or 4 follow-up trips for a certain group of students, and these trips will be following the same path, so their name would logically be the same. So by putting the name, having the date at the start, we can distinguish between trips which are essentially the same but are done on different dates. So in this case, we will say this trip will be done on the 31st of May. For the date, we prefer to start with the year, the month, and the year, so that when they are sorted alphabetically, they will come out in order of date. Next, we will say this is a Bulawayo Zushabani trip. And there are 2 dates below. The first date is the planned date. So put May 31. The second date will be the actual date when the trip is carried out, and this will be filled in after the trip is done. We'll now press add, and our trip is now added here second, 220531 plus Shaban. Next, we want to set up the trip, and we set up the trip in 3 different areas here shown by these 3 buttons here. You will set up the staff members who are going on the trip. You set up the disciplines who are going to be followed up on that particular trip. Then you set up the specific students in specific companies which you want to follow up on that trip. Let's start off with the staff members. For the staff members, we type either their national IDs or part of their names and surnames, and then we can search for them. Okay, I type the name of the lecturer and I press the down arrow to search, and it shows me the lecturer's name and address, and I can pick. Then let's say this one is the team leader. Then I say add. Then let's add 2 other lecturers. Okay, I've picked another lecturer. This one won't be a team leader, so I didn't change the slider from no. And the last one, so in each case I'm typing the name of the lecturer, then pressing the down arrow. Okay, I've now got my lecturers and I'm done. I can press close to return to the trip planner. Next, I want to add the disciplines we're following up on this particular trip. I'll press the disciplines button. And here I'll type the name of the discipline, mechanical. I'll press add. There's only one discipline, so that's enough, and I can say close. Next, I want to select the students who are going to follow up on this particular trip. Now, when I press this button here, it will show me 3 options. Now, I can choose the students to be followed up by class, by city, or by company. Now, the reason for that arrangement is that typically when you're doing a follow-up trip, it'll be going to a particular city, and you might want to say, I want to follow up all the students from various courses in that city. So that's the reason for using city. Similarly, for the company option, you might be going to a company which has a large number of your students, and you might want to follow up all the students at that company, regardless of the discipline they're in. In this case, let's choose to follow up by class. This shows us the usual class list we can zoom to screen with to make full use of the screen size. Then we can change and pick the students we want. Mechanical, and we'll pick second years. This shows the list of the students. It also shows where they are attached at. So you can see where they're attached at, both the company and the city. And shows the student's name, national ID, student number, class name, course code. So to follow up a student, you change the slider which says no to yes. So we're going to follow up on this one. So this one here will also follow up. This one is not attached. The ones we've got no company name, no city are not attached. This one also will follow up, and this one also follow up. Right? Then we can say close to return. Once we've done that, we are done. We have now finished planning this particular trip. So now you want to see the trip calendar to make sure that the trip is what you expect. So let's press calendar here. This shows all the trips planned for the year in that particular academic session. And you can see our trip is the second one here. Shows the proposed date, Tuesday, 31 May 2022. Actual date is blank until after the trip is done. Then it shows the lecturers listed here, and the lead, it shows that Larry knows is the lead of this particular team. Then for the companies being followed up, it shows the company name and the number of students. So it's 3 at Big Hill Mine, 1 at Rockwell Engineering. And it also lists the disciplines followed up here. Okay, let's return to the trip planner. Another useful statistic which you might want to check sometimes is to make sure that all the students have been followed up sufficiently. And this is done using the trip stats. This is checking that they are planned trips for the students, not necessarily that those trips have happened. So we can come here, pick a particular class, then we can see for each student how many trips are planned for that particular student. Okay, zoom to width. Right, so you can see there's a class list, and it shows for each student which company they're attached at and how many trips are planned to follow them up. So you can use this to check that students are being followed up correctly.